With your win now, there's probably no one ahead of you in the division. And like I said with Raphael, there's a question about Cejudo. How do you see the future? Would you fight again, or are you going to wait for the title? Cejudo's in the flyweight. I'm worried about my division in the bantamweight. And TJ Dillashaw is the champion. He hasn't lost his title, and he's going to have to defend it. And I'm here to challenge him. So you wouldn't accept to take another fight if Cejudo would come back to bantamweight? That's not going to happen. Cejudo is going to keep his division, and in the bantamweight division, Dillashaw is the champion. You started to talk about in the octagon that you had diarrhea during the whole week. Can you explain that better? What happened with you, and how close were you to really have to back out of the main event? Man, from Tuesday to Wednesday, I didn't sleep. Maybe I slept 1 hour the whole night. I didn't want to give up, I didn't want to back out. It was a great opportunity for me to have this fight in Brazil. And needed to say something to someone, but if I said something to the UFC, they would try to take me to the doctor. That would make weight, and that would be it. So I had to talk to somebody that would fight no matter what would happen. Even if they had a broken arm, they would get in there. So I called my training partner, Frankie Edgar, and I said, man, I'm feeling sick. He said, man, drink some tea and keep going. It's still Tuesday. The fight's on Saturday. I called my wife and we talked. And I drank a lot of liquids, a lot of coconut water. I got better. I lost 10 pounds in 2 days, but about 4 kilos. But I adjusted my diet, and in my head, I kept thinking it was just normal weight cut. So it actually helped you to cut weight. It didn't really help me. I was a bit debilitated. It was tough to train during the week. I didn't even train that much. It really got in my way, but up here, that's what matters. My body was already prepared, my mind too, so today I went in there with a champion's mentality and a winner's mentality, and I knew that I would get in there and win this fight. About your strategy for the fight, you came in with a different strategy, and when did you find the right moment to put in that right hand, which is the beginning of the end? Man, an MMA fight, I'm a complete fighter, and that's it. Like I said before, preparation was great. I put myself in the worst scenarios possible, and I knew that I could finish the fight on my feet or on the ground. The fight would tell me where it would be finished. I was ready to go in any area. I was able to knock Raphael down, and he was on the ground, and I felt that he could still feel it. I saw the opportunity to throw in that submission that we train a lot, and I was able to get it. Congratulations on the fight, on your win. Same question I asked Assuncao. If you become the champion and Assuncao comes and wants to challenge you, would you accept it? You each have a win over each other. Honestly, on paper, his win wasn't as big as mine. But if we have to fight again, we will. We're professionals. He has his career, his team, his family, and I have my own. And we'll put everything in play in the octagon and see who's better. Congratulations on your win. I want to know what changed from your first fight against Raphael Assuncao to this one in your preparation, and what were you thinking? I just got to the UFC. I was the champion in another event, but I was a good athlete. It was tough, but I kept training a lot and evolving, having a lot of camps, really tough camps, and I kept evolving the last fights, and you were able to see that tonight, a complete Marlon tonight, and a Marlon that's ready to be the champ. What did you see differently in Raphael from the first fight to tonight? Did you study other qualities? He'd been on a win streak. Did you study him like that? Yes, I have a trainer. My head coach is Mark Henry. He studies my opponents a lot, and we studied a lot of combinations. Last time he would throw one, and I would throw one, and it was a very confusing fight to know who won. And our game plan was to have a greater volume of strikes and to attack him a little bit more. But during this week, my training partner Eddie Alvarez, he's a great friend that I have, and he was watching a lot of videos from that fight, from that first fight, and he noticed that most of the times when he hit me was when I attacked him. So we talked about that this weekend, and we changed it a little bit. I let him come forward a little bit, and that's how I hit him, and I was able, like you said, hit that shot was the beginning of the end. You made it clear that your first performance against Raphael was in the kind of performance that you want to do, that tonight is more coherent with the rest of your career, but you talked about your evolution in training and where you're able to study from the first fight, but they talk a lot about the weight of the octagon. Do you think that in the first fight you felt that pressure from the debut? I don't think so. Before my debut in the UFC, I had already defended my title 6 times. I had a lot of 5-round fights, and usually when you fight the main event, there's a lot of promotion around it. So I kind of fell, you know. I was a champion in the main event, and I fell to the preliminaries, and I just thought it was going to be an easy fight, and it was kind of like a friendly match. I already knew Raphael, and I felt that the way I was fighting, not that I felt, but, I thought that the fight was already won, that I was landing more shots. He connected good shots on me, and I ended up losing. On the other hand, losses can be something good. There's that cliche that you learn more from your losses than your wins. You're coming off a good streak, and you got back on a good rhythm. Do you think that loss in the end helped you? That maybe that it shook you and gave you some good fire? Yeah, competing against a guy like Raphael Assuncao, he's a veteran. Not a veteran in age, but a guy who's got more than 30 fights. He's fought in the WC, fought against everyone, fought George Masvidal, other great fighters. He had only lost before to TJ Dillashaw in a decision. He's an opponent that pushes you and motivates you to train. He's a guy that gets you to become better. I evolved a lot fighting him that time and this time. I think that now I'm really prepared to be the champion. Talking about being the champion, we know who you want to fight, and you show to be confident in the rematch. There's a lot of talks about a rematch with TJ and Cejudo. You're confident it's not going to happen. We know that your division is a bit confusing at the top right now. You said that it was tough to get a fight schedule in the past. What's your mind like right now? Would you be willing to wait a little bit, to wait for the title shot? First of all, I want a new contract. I want a contract, and then first fight has to be for the title. The time has come. I'm ready. I'm on my prime. I can't wait more. It's my time to fight for the belt and to win. I'm going to win for the fight for the belt, and I'm going to win. I'm going to be the champion. How do you see you matching up with TJ? I'm Brazilian, and Brazilians never give up. You said you want a new agreement. What's your agreement like today with the UFC? I have a really good agreement with the UFC. They contracted me when I was a champion. I have nothing to complain, but the time has come to get a better contract and to fight for the belt. How many fights do you still have left? I still have fights left with the UFC in my contract, but it's time to get a better one.